Welcome back to the channel, folks. EcoBelkin here. Today we are going to be installing a 40 amp Nema 1450 outdoor outlet. Let's go. Before we get started, here's a disclaimer. I am not a certified electrician. I looked up the NEC code for wiring so that I could educate myself on what wire I needed and how I was supposed to do it safely. This video is not a tutorial on 100% on how to do something. It is more like a loose guide and for some entertainment purposes. Also, I'm going to be going inside my electrical panel. If you're not comfortable with doing that, don't do it. Serious injury can occur when you're inside your panel if you're not paying attention. So know your KSAs, your knowledge, your skills, and your abilities. With the disclaimer out of the way, here's what you're going to need. Since my outlet is going outside and I want to be safety first, I have a GFCI 40 amp double pole breaker. That's what this wire is for. It's GFCI. You have to kind of special order these, and with that, you have to know what breakers go in your panel and what breakers don't. And on the lid or on the door, there will be a description of what breakers work in this panel. Like this is a Cutler hammer. I can't go and get a square D breaker. You're going to need conduit. Well, rather, I need a conduit because I went outside. And per the NEC, you cannot put Romex wiring in conduit unless that conduit is for support of the wire. But you cannot put Romex wiring in conduit and go outside. So I had to go get some conduit, and I got 4 wires, 2 hot, a ground, and a neutral. So I've got 4 wires here. And since I'm pulling 32 amps per my EV charger, I have a 40 amp breaker, and that requires 8 gauge wiring, which is what we have. And let me tell you, threading this wire together through this hose that I've ran is a real pain in the butt. But it was worth it. The wiring I have here is THHN. I also have all the hardware I would need to hang this conduit in my basement, clamps, conduit fittings to connect both to the breaker and to the box, a drill, some drill bits. You're going to need some spade bits. I'm going to need some spade bits because I'm going outside, as well as some insulating tools, wire strippers, needle nose, of course the breaker, and the outdoor outlet. And with all the stuff out of the way that we need, we are going to go outside and start from the fixture and work our way back to the electrical panel. From asking around that I've done and general searching online, that seems to be the best practice of what to do for safety reasons. You don't want to work here, flip the breaker on, go outside and fry yourself. So we're going to take our stuff that we need outside and install our box and work backwards. So as we are outside, what I'm doing is making sure that where I want to put my box is at least 24 inches off the grade. Then I mark it on the siding, and looking at this point now, I realize that's really, really low, and I decide to move it up. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to make sure that this box is going to sit evenly on both planks of my wood siding. I'm going to use this level to make sure my box does actually sit level. And then I'm going to use the marker and mark all 4 sides of it. I then get out my Phillips screwdriver and I begin taking the inside set screw out so that I can take the actual plate holding the Nema 1450 plug out. And with that out, I put the casing back up on the siding, making sure I'm within my lines. I then grab my drill and I put the first screw in. Before I screw it down, I make sure it's level. and then I finish screwing the box to the side of the house. So right here is the middle of my box. There's two holes right here from God knows whenever that happened. It just so happens that this hole lines up with in the middle of this box. So we're gonna use this hole right here to drill through our siding to put our conduit in right here. Here I'm in the basement, drilling through from the basement to the outside using a 1-inch spade bit, I do believe, because the size of my conduit is 3/4 inch in diameter. And this is where I learned that wood siding is very brittle, at least mine was. I think if I was to do this again, I'd probably not use a spade bit. This is, as you can see, some of my siding has been chipped. And here's where I start feeding the conduit through the hole, making sure to push enough through that I have enough to use on the other side, because I have to bend that conduit almost at 90 degrees to go up into that box. Oh, look at that. Alright, so we have our conduit ran through. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning was getting duct seal so that we can seal around the hole that's around this conduit. So first we're going to get one of our 3/4 inch connectors here, and we're going to put this in the bottom of this box. I've already knocked out the bottom part of it, test fitting it, and I made it too big, so that's why I had to get a bigger washer. We just put this in here and we learn how to screw it down. So we have a nice thick, nice tight connection. We run our wires up through this like so. Maybe it would have been easier if I would have gotten a 90-degree bend, I suppose, but I digress. Listen, goddammit, get the hell up in there. Come on. There we go. Oh, you know what? Here's a better idea. Since that might be too small of a bend. Why don't we put this on first? And then fish our shit through the damn hole, right? See? It's amateur hour here. Look, I didn't even put that on there right. Let's try this again. There we go. Random dog next door I forgot about. There. Now, let's take this whole thing, manhandle our holy lord. Let's take this whole thing, manhandle our wiring. See what happens if you don't have a studio. There. There. Look at that. Perfect. We have our washer. We have the other washer. We tighten that down. Tighten that down, and then we tighten this down. Please excuse the dog next door. Let me know in the comments. Should I put a 90-degree angle here? Got one of those instead? Okay. Then we have... Okay, and then we have our plug. So this is your ground. Ground always faces up. These are your two hots. This is your neutral. Here's your ground wire. We'll go back here in the back of the box. And then you just strip your red and black, which is your two hots. They go on the side. Doesn't matter either side they go on. And then your neutral will be down here at the bottom. And it will tell you, like this says ground, this says X and Y, your two hots, and this says neutral. And since my wire stripper doesn't work for 8 gauge, we're going to cheat and do the old-fashioned way with the pair of those pliers. Or not, or I'm just going to screw it up like that. See? I guess I should have got it. Ow. But and then this goes to the box to ground the box out. So we just put our green wire back in here. I get this wire at the big box hardware stores. It's like 61 cents a foot. Now we do our neutral, our two hots, and our ground. So this goes like this. Okay. Now we just I forgot to get ones, for the 8 gauge that I was using, neutral at the bottom. So this is going to go like this. So our neutral is going to go down here at the bottom. And it will tell you on the lid of how to wire this outlet as well. Smurfalific, look at that, folks. We are succeeding somehow. Alright. And I got apparently earlier, it doesn't matter which side is black or red, because both of these are going to be hot when they get back to the breaker anyway. Ooh. Now, should I trim some of that off of there? What do you guys think? Is that okay if it goes in like that? There's a little bit of showing. Is that okay? I don't know. We'll trim a little bit of this off. I also learned that you can get this wire, this THHN wire, you can get it in solid copper as well. So if you don't like the strands like I got here, you can get it in solid copper. There we go. Make sure they're nice and tight. And then this guy goes back in here to this other ground at the lower lug of the box. And then we tuck our nice neat wires back inside, like so. And we patiently find the hole again. And screw it down. there. And I can lock it. Now comes some of this duct seal that we got here to seal the opening. Now, I've never used this stuff, so please let me know in the comments on whether or not I'm doing it right or wrong. Because to be honest, I don't really know, but I am going to try and see if I can use it to prop this piece of wood back up. Kind of like that. Now, does this just get stuck around here? Is this how it's supposed to go? Alright. Now, so, do you use a blade and just cut this putty off? Is that how this works? So I'm not real sure. But you folks let me know. Is this the right way of doing this? I won't be offended if I'm a complete idiot and did this wrong. Okay, I might be slightly offended, but I'm a big boy. I'll learn. This stuff's kind of sticky though. Is it supposed to be this sticky? And my box is level. Look at that. Now, I put this on the planks of the siding of where the box is mounted. Do I put this paste right here to stop water from going down behind it? Or is that going to be okay? Because I was going to recess this box into the siding so it looked kind of like, I don't know, more professional. Electricians, general contractors, let me know what you guys would have done in the comments. Would you have mounted the siding like I did, or would you recess it into the siding? And with that done, now we can go inside. I'll show you the other side of this and explain what I'm going to do by running this conduit to the breaker. Alright, and right there is the conduit coming inside the building. It's right now sitting right here. I've got 50 feet run over to my breaker. The idea is we're going to run along this wall all the way down there to where that light's at, and then we're going to go over to our breaker. For the purposes of this conduit, I am going to use the hangers and attach it underneath. I understand that is not the right way to do it, but this is my house, and it's this close to the wall. You can't hang anything from it anyway. And I don't want to drill a hole in every beam all the way down, because you can't drill a hole in the beam when you're so close to a supporting surface or a supporting juncture. So this is the edge of the house. I don't want to be too close to the edge. And that's a lot of damn holes to be drilling. Let me know in the comments of what you guys would do. When we come back, I'll have this conduit all hung up, and we'll be at the breaker box. And here we are back at the panel. I ran my conduit with my wiring through here, through my house. I am not an electrician, but I have a lot of respect for you people who are electricians. In my opinion, after my first job of being an electrician, it would probably make me an alcoholic. Fighting this cable through my basement was a pain in the ass. I didn't think it'd be that complicated. I actually questioned if it was easier to hang the conduit first and then run the wire, or run the wire like I did through the conduit and then hang the conduit. And I did the wiring through the conduit and then hung the conduit. And every time I thought I had it unraveled, it'd coil itself back up. Oh, man. That was a job. Okay, with that out of the way. So we're at the panel right now. We got 4 screws to take it off. My panel is on. If you want to be safe, you can cut your panel off. To be safe, you cut your panel off. My fridge needs to cool itself down because I've had the panel off all day. So our panel is staying on. But we are going to take our panel off. And you may think where I'm going to put this double pole 40 amp breaker. I'm actually going to take out this 50 amp breaker and replace it with my 40 amp breaker. And here's what the inside of your electrical panel looks like. May or may not be the same, but you have something similar. You have two feeds of 120 coming into one main breaker. This is 100 amps. Right now, these are live. All these breakers are live, with the exception of these two. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this breaker right here, and we're going to replace it with our double pole GFCI. To get to that point, we're going to knock out one of these side pieces right here so my conduit can come down right here and then go into the panel. And that's where this piece comes in right here. So to do that, we're going to knock out this piece right here. That is probably not the right way to do that, but for me, it works. Oh, come on. Come on, you little bitch, get out of here. All right. We have our 3/4 inch, which is my conduit's 3/4 inch. We have our little 90-degree U-joint here, which fits snugly right there. So then we're going to take this off. Oh. Well, I guess I could have trimmed more of that off, couldn't I? Well, in that case, we're going to go up here behind my gas line, if I can, ever so carefully. Let me tell you, I am on my tippy toes, and this is a real pain in my ass right about now. Oh. Like, come on. Is it really this complicated? Holy hell, have mercy here. Come on. Whoa. Well, sweet Jesus of Mary. I don't know if that's safe to do it that way. But we need more wiring. There we go. Oh, we could just cut more of that off, because we are coming like right there, so we can go up right here too. Oh, shoot. I thought I cut my wires there for a second. That pissed me off if I cut them. Okay, so now we have more. Okay. Now we put this on. Now we put this on. There we go. Oh, come on, come on. This is really a pain in the ass. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it easy on myself and put my breaker right here. So this, to remove your breakers, carefully tilt on this side, tilt to the right, and the breaker will pop out. Now, you want to be careful because there's pegs in there. Those pegs are live. Don't touch them. And we're going to move this dryer breaker down to the next two, since I'm not using it, and I'll just relabel my panel when I'm done. Come on, you little bitch, get in there. What the damn hell? Really? Okay, there. Now we move that one down there. On the side of this, it will show you how much to strip, and will also tell you which legs to screw the hots to and which one to screw the neutral to. So that's where we're at now. We just slide this little bastard in here. I'm so hungry. My patience is shot with this. That is for sure. Then we're going to use an insulated screwdriver, and we're going to pick a neutral and screw a neutral to it. As far as which bus bar is which, only in the main panel, I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, only in the main panel can you have ground and neutral on the same bus bar because both bus bars are connected. You cannot have a neutral and a ground under the same lug, but you can have neutral and grounds on the same bar. In a sub panel, I do believe you cannot do that because the bars are not connected. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Now we're going to put this big behemoth of a through here. Oh! And then we get our retaining nut right here, and we screw it down. And now we strip these wires. No, I did not learn from a mistake from outside. I still have to use these damn things. But I think we'll be okay. And does this one tell me how much to strip? Ah, most breakers do tell you on the side how much to strip, so that's what we're going to go by. That's what we're going to try to go by. Whether or not that works. Ooh. There we go. One down, 3 more to go. Repeat the process for the other 3 wires. And then you end up scraping your knuckles too, like I just did. Ow. That hurt. Ow. And then we just want to make sure that we have all of our wiring kind of like the same length, because this is very heavy gauge wiring. And if it's not, I get enough zinc in my diet, I don't need any damn copper. And I think that's as good as it's going to get. Now we disconnect all these up. So the ground is going to go to a ground leg all by itself. I just have to find a spot where I can put the damn thing. Right here is good. Woo! When these breakers are on, these lugs are live. So when you're in your breaker panel, if it's on, just be careful where your pinky finger's at. And that your pinky doesn't touch a lug like that. Ooh, okay. Oh, come on. This is probably why you don't want stranded copper. You'd rather have solid copper instead. Oh, look at that. Okay. Our ground is in. We can shove the excess wire back through the hose. Our white goes to the middle. Make sure this breaker is off, and it does say off. It's also why you want to use an insulated screwdriver. And I'm not real sure how much you guys can actually see because my big head's in the way or because my hand is in the way. Oh, come on now. I'm thinking maybe I should have went to see if I could have got solid copper wire for this, not the stranded stuff. But that would be even harder to pull. And this was already a bitch to deal with. So, listen here. Holy moly. We need some, I can't see what the hell it is that I'm trying to do over here. I can't find the hole to where this wire goes in. And then when I do find it, I go in crooked. And you know, you can't go in crooked. You have to go in nice and easy and straight, relatively speaking. I think we're in. All right. All we have now is our two hots, here and here, and it does not matter which one goes where. Now I'm trying to be very careful because this breaker right here is on. The 15 amp above where my fingers are at for the red wire. And I don't want to touch that lug. All we have left is our black. There we go. And this is only 8 gauge wire. I'd hate to do this at 50 amps for 6 gauge wire. Is it in all the way? Is that what she said? That is the question. All right. Now, this is a GFCI breaker. Since this outlet is outside, I wanted to do safety first. We can shove the rest of it back up in. Ooh. Did that wire come out on me? You little... All right. Our connections are tight. Pull this breaker forward. It didn't pop. We hit test. Now we just reset it, which is off. On. Breaker's on. Let's get my charger, go outside, and see if she charges. All right, folks. We're outside. We're testing our legs now. So the bottom one was neutral. We put our neutral in, and we put the top in. And the multimeter says, well, if I could find a sweet spot here without getting electrocuted, because my probe doesn't go all the way in there. Well, hell. It needs to be bigger. Okay. All jokes aside. There's 120. And we do the other side. $120. And that's it. Alright folks, that concludes this video on how to install a 240 GFCI breaker in your panel and install the outlet outside. Most of the videos that I saw on YouTube were about ones people did them in the garage for their Tesla. I didn't see anybody doing one outside. With that, if you liked it, hit that button. If you didn't like it, well, you know what to do. And let me know in the comments. How did we do? Did I pass? Did I fail? Was I at least coherent? Was I safe? You be the judge. As always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day and stay safe.